Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and salam sejahtera. I will talk about Islamic banking product which is Sukuk and the other one under conventional system which is conventional bonds. Islam is a shumul, which means that Islam is a complete in all aspects of life. Islam not only considers to its followers Muslim but non-Muslim too. This can be proved by many conventional banks are now tend to adopt Islamic banking system in their products and services. Although Islamic banking system based on Sharia law, this may not obstruct to non-Muslim to consume the Islamic banking system. The function and services are similar with conventional bank, but it has their own principles which are: first, prohibition of interest. Second, the concept of profit-loss sharing between a bank and its customer. Furthermore, Islamic banking does not charge or incur any interest in financing that offered to the customer, but they will give the depositors share from the bank's profit based on the predetermined ratio. With the growth of Islamic finance, banks are now mostly introducing various riba-free products and services to expand banking scope and customer base. Islamic financial system is based on a non-interest system and focusing on a profit base that can be enjoyed by the provider and managers of receiving funds. Its operations are basically based on a set of morals and ethics that must be followed as set by the Islamic law. So here we will see the structure and operational of financial system under Islamic financial system and under conventional financial system. Move to the structure of Islamic financial system. Under structure of Islamic financial system, it has 5 characteristics, which is: first, profit loss sharing concept; second, prohibition from the involving in project that contain riba, gharar and maisir; third, they has their own treasury function for their work stream; fourth, single flow operated; fifth, must follow the Sharia compliance that be set under Sharia law. In Islamic financial system, the overview of their working terms is contrast from the treasury in conventional system. Islamic system is more designed to reach the acceptance and blessing from the business occur. There are several concepts and functions applied under Islamic system, which are: first, treasury. Treasury is the manager for the liquidity and cost and investment instrument. Second, the operation. The operation will arrange work stream and akad contracts. Third, legal. Legal team is ensure the transactional and documentation followed Sharia compliance. Fourth, Sharia review and audit team. They do the completion of the documentation. Fifth, the Sharia committee, which is they decide for the products and services provided by the banks followed the Sharia law. Whereas the structure of conventional system is more likely focusing on maximization of the investor by setup to collecting funds and giving out the loan. They use the funds as their main commodities in business. The arrangement of the funds be managed by the treasury, which is responsible for balancing the return to shareholders' funds by giving out the loan to their customer by using the pool funds from the shareholders. As such, the income and pricing are main point for the conventional system as to keeping maintained in the business and sources of fund. The procedures for banking products for conventional system and Islamic system. For conventional system, their coordination are based on the profit maximization while minimize the risk occurred. These are how the Western or conventional system design their products and services to serve to their customers. by firstly, products design are based on the market demand. Secondly, the competitors' products are also used an innovation idea for promotes their products. Next, most of the structure of products are copied or same likely among the banks. They use the main document as a proof of businesses such as loan agreement or deposit agreement that includes the interest terms. Then we submit the product to the senior management and the Central Bank of Malaysia for the legal approval. Lastly, they will review their products to the customer if it has been approved by the Central Bank of Malaysia or amend if it is necessary. But for Islamic financial system, the product or services that carry out is more focused on the profit loss sharing as its structure is protecting the whole system. These are the procedures on how a product being carried out to give out to their customers. Firstly, there is existence of market demand from the customers. Next, the competitors' products are as a force to take out the new product for the banks. Then, the structure of the products are handled by the Shariah team for rightness and matters. Next, the arrangement of the structured product is considered by Shariah Committee for judgment making and resolution of concerns. Their main documents involved depends on the types of contract chosen by the customer. The arrangement of the structured product is reviewed within the Sharia law, requirements and operations. Then, they will submit to the senior management of the bank for the review. Next, they will submit the product to the Central Bank of Malaysia, including the Sharia management there. They will launch the product if it has been approved and review the product according to the Sharia law. And they will amend if necessary with the consents and approval from the Sharia Committee and Sharia Management from PNM. Despite of the structure of product and functions, there are also other differentiation in terms of interest rates, ownership, contractual agreement and terms, and business scope. For example, under the interest rate in the conventional system is based on the monthly or daily interest rate by using the floating or fixed rates when regarding the loan contract, whereas in the Islamic system, the rates given are decided monthly or daily by using the floating or fixed rate financing, which means current rate are used in the calculation. So, today I will explain about the Sukuk. So, in your opinion, why does Sukuk exist? Okay, Sukuk exists because the Islamic law prohibits usury in the acquisition of wealth or profit. And this created for a group of investors, which is they own a portion of the equity to link the returns and cash flows of debt financing with the specific assets they buy. And for the issuer, they must make a contractual promise to repurchase the bonds at the future date at par value. So, Sukuk is one of alternative way for the companies or big businesses prospect as for disposal to finance their assets in issuing debt. However, their financing debt are way differ from the conventional financial system. Sukuk is one of the financing product under the Islamic products, which is Islamic investment certificates or instruments that follow the Sharia law. It is almost more likely to the conventional bonds, but there are several differences characteristic has designed too. So here the three criteria for Sukuk to be Islamic compliance. Firstly, certificates must represent ownership in tangible asset or services revenue generating firms. Second, payments to investors should come after tax profit. Third, The value repaid at maturity should reflect the current market price of the underlying asset. So, how does the Sukuk works to receive the capital? It is explained by the diagram. Firstly, a company that requires capital, referred to as the originator, establish a special purpose vehicle (SPV). The SPV protects the underlying asset from creditors if the originator suffers from financial problems. Second, the special purpose vehicle (SPV) issues Sukuk certificates that are sold to the investors. Then, the originator purchases the required asset using the proceeds from the sale of the certificates to the investors. Next, the SPV buys the asset from the originator. Then, the SPV pays the asset sale proceeds to the originator. The SPV set up the lease of the asset to the originator. Then, originator makes lease payment to the SPV, which later distribute the payments among the holders as lease income. Lastly, on the termination date of the lease, the originator purchases the asset back from the SPV at its nominal value. The SPV distribute the proceeds to the certificate holders. Thus, Sukuk does not represent as the debt instrument. Once it been issued by the issuer, it will offer the certificate to the investors. The issuer then uses the advance of the certificate to acquire the asset, and the investor receives from the part of the asset ownership. Investors are also eligible to the portion of the profit generated by the asset. So, here are some types of Sukuk contract. First, agency-based Sukuk. Second, sale-based Sukuk. Third, lease-based Sukuk. Fourth, partnership-based Sukuk. And other innovative structure. These Sukuk contracts are created to fulfill the demand from the customers. Well, all the banking products has their own features, also it can have their own risks. The risks occur as all the business related products that created have their risks because it involves of money and asset. There are several risks of Sukuk to be compliant with Sharia law by explained in the diagram. Firstly, market risks. Under the market risk, it consists of two perspectives, which are include terms and law by the government in terms of economic and businesses, also the risk of uncorrelated between the firms. Next, interest rate risk. Under this risk, it is known as return risk. It can be explained by when the market rises, but the fixed return on Sukuk are allowed to rise, so the holder would be earning less than they would in the market. Next, in exchange rate risk, it is fluctuate, so it may affect the returns of Sukuk, especially it mostly traded in the US dollars. Next, for the credit risk, it is explained as a probability of default occur or delayed settlement. This is justified by describing the Sukuk are in large part issued in emerging markets where counterparties possesses less sophisticated risk management mechanism. Next, in the legal risk, this is any types of banking product have their own legal risks and terms. So, for Sukuk, the existence of legal precedents most likely are not played out as it is new product and its great uncertainty. Under the law, only Sukuk is having their specific rule need to be followed. As if there are existence of shubhah element, the contract will be void and unaccepted. How about the conventional bond? So, conventional bond is a debt instrument where it been issued by the companies to be a securitized asset. It is a loan that includes a payment, tenure of asset, terms for the interest payments, Investor has entitled to repay the investor on an agreed time. The government used conventional bond to finance the cost of public utilities and consumers such as coal, roads, and other infrastructures. Corporation used to financing growth of business to purchase other asset or property and for financing the projects under the company. So, here are some categories of bonds, which is corporate bonds, municipal bonds, government bond, agency bond, and foreign bond. Last but not least, this is the types of bond, which is callable bond, zero coupon rate, convertible bond, and puttable bond. So, as a conclusion, Islamic products can help to generate income as it has similar characteristics to the conventional banking product. It is one of most trends in the financial world because it has their own demands for the financial products among the users, and the services provided will conform to the Sharia law. So that's all from me. Thank you.